Grecian tears of joy leave groundsman Chad facing an investigation into breaking the hosepipe ban, and Czech nods one in at the back stick for a City win.
Hello and welcome to the Big Bank Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
I thought you might go for like checkmate.
Yeah, that I'll save that one for when I become mates with Czech.
Oh yeah, all right. Anyway, what a week it's been.
Yeah, flipping heck.
Listeners, last time we were here, we just signed Raheem Harper.
Yep.
And it was
then the transfer window deadline day came along, didn't it?
Yeah.
And then nothing.
Well, the window had taken, there were cobwebs in it.
There was a couple of things, wasn't there? There was a couple of outgoings.
Oh, that's true as well.
So
yeah,
that's what happened on deadline day. Alfie Pond.
Yeah.
Gone.
Alfie Pond, serial agitator. Is that fair? He'd been looking for a move away, or wasn't happen with his lack of a move away, or wanted some action, or something.
Yeah, well, fair enough. He's gone.
He was worried that his pond was going to be stagnant.
Yeah, he was, yeah. Too many tadpoles, not enough frogs.
Good. He thought Matt Taylor was some sort of toad overlord.
Yeah, which every pond has, of course, a toad overlord.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And
you ever seen a toad?
Ever seen a toad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a toad. Yeah.
Good.
My
friend once was camping, and he, their tent was sort of been a bit of a kind of like wet bit.
Yeah.
And then he picked up some of his clothes from the corner of the tent, and there was a white toad underneath them.
A white toad?
Yeah.
That's the stuff of nightmares.
It is a bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Terrifying. Anyway.
And did it then leap at his face?
It did. It sort of clung onto his face.
Oh, yeah. No. You might know him, actually. He's the guy that walks around town with a white toad on his face.
Yeah, the white toad man.
Yeah, that's him, yeah.
Alfie Pond gone. 500 large
500
to Wolves.
K.
Yeah.
More Ks than a box of special K.
5 Ks.
5
Like a Kerrang rating.
Kerrang rating of 5 Ks to Alfie Pond. 500 Ks.
He's gone.
To Wolves.
To Wolves.
Would you ever have a wolf in a pond?
You don't want that.
No.
And Josh Coley.
Yes.
Gone.
But.
Season-long loan.
Yes.
To Harrogate Town.
Signed an extension.
Oh, and also signed an extension, yeah. So it's a bit of like, bit of one, bit of the other.
So we were all there scratching our heads, weren't we? The bonces were getting itched.
Yeah.
The nuts were getting noodled.
It just seemed so strange, didn't it? It was like, well, this is definitely, we're getting someone then, because we wouldn't let him go. Someone who's played like almost as many minutes as anyone this season, Josh Coley. Do you mean like?
Yeah.
But 11 p.m. came and went.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I was there saying, it could go till midnight. Nothing.
Nothing at all.
And then we woke up in the morning bleary-eyed.
Yep.
No more tears left to cry.
Yeah, a little bit flat, wasn't it? And then there was a sort of interview with Matt Taylor where he sort of seemed to be saying, oh yeah, you can't, it's difficult, can't get anyone in, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Which turned out to be a one big fake out.
Good one.
What an actor.
He's...
I can't really remember what happened. Maybe he didn't do that.
For a Tony.
Yeah.
So then... do you win Tonys for musicals?
Tony, it's just acting and it's stage acting.
So stage acting. Yeah. That's Matt Taylor.
So then...
Olivier.
The next morning...
Taylor.
There's some action...
There's some rumours on Twitter.
Yeah. Centred around an account who I am not going to plug. However, word sort of seems to get around that there's more business to be done. Leaks from the very top.
Would you ever plant a leek in a pond?
Yes, that's exactly where you should plant leeks, right in the middle.
Good.
Right in the middle. Otherwise, they don't taste nice.
Yep.
Yeah, so...
And then it was
big red-faced loon, Julian Tagg.
Yeah.
Hints at further business to come. And so we're all waiting there. And then you see all these things happen. Oh, look, Fulham have signed Will.i.am. And
What, from the Dilated Peoples? No, Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah, they sign him.
Yeah.
And also Vinicius and some other folk.
Don't you find it always well confusing, which Exeter City never has to worry about, except when a player's called Matt Taylor? Because there are loads of Brazilian players with the same one name, aren't there?
Yeah.
Very
Several
confusing.
Freds, isn't there?
Several Fred, several
etc.
Vinicius Junior.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's not the one from Real Madrid then?
No, I'm assuming not.
No, I
Isn't he
didn't-
like the next great
I
superstar?
didn't think it would be.
No.
But,
It's confusing.
so anyway,
Yeah.
so then it's like, okay, right. The rumour that's been, rattling along for a long time, but we all thought was kind of over, that Jay Stansfield was going to return
Yeah.
to Exeter on loan, suddenly looks like it's actually going to happen.
Yeah.
Then he's spotted at a nearby service station.
Was he actually?
I think so, yeah. I don't know if that's like...
That's
I
just
think
the
that's
standard-
actually true,
That's
yeah.
actually true for once.
And lo and behold, 5 o'clock comes round. There he is.
There he is.
He signed for us on loan. Jay Stansfield.
So
Back.
if you have been living under a rock, or maybe you haven't supported Exeter City for that long, or you're not that old, the backstory is this.
Yep.
Adam Stansfield was one of our great non-league players, and a bit of league.
Yep. Instrumental in us becoming league team
Indeed
again.
so. Was with us a long time, was local, so played for Elmore, played for Yeovil,
Hereford.
played for Hereford, of course. Great player, really good goal scorer. Got very poorly very quickly and died of cancer. So he was diagnosed in like the February or the March and died in the August.
Yeah. While he was an Exeter player.
While he was an Exeter player. Had played that season.
Awful. Played with Matt Taylor, of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, like real... I mean, that very rarely happens in football anyway. But he was a really good, just an excellent player and an excellent fella. And, of course, we all lived through the distress of seeing that and seeing his young family on the pitch and, receiving support and money for the foundation that was set up and all this kind of stuff. Jay Stansfield being one of the children.
Yeah.
Who then was in our academy.
Yeah. From about age 7, I think.
Yeah.
It was around the time that his dad passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously Adam Stansfield lived on in the hearts and minds of Exeter City fans and the club. We've got a stand named after him. Our sort of main song, Terrace Chant, is all about him. It's sang at every single game.
Clinton Morrison talking on the telly reminded me, of course, the big shirt, which I'd kind of forgotten about.
Yeah, which they didn't bring out, and I thought, to be honest, I think that was a good decision.
Have we had it since the stand's been up?
I don't know. I feel like they brought it back a little while ago.
Maybe.
Anyway, so
such a big deal.
that's the backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then
Jay gets signed away.
Yeah. So Fulham come in and kind of just scoop him up, right? It's that's what I'm not having the pop. Is what happens. Signed him up as a youngster.
Yeah.
Off he goes. He immediately sort of starts doing quite well, doesn't he? We kind of assume he'd kind of sit in the youth team or, whatever, or be loaned out here and there.
Well, there've been several
But
players.
he kind of just goes, like, not straight into the first team at all, but he's kind of knocking around it, isn't he? For like on the kind of, he's on the periphery of it.
Yeah.
Almost immediately.
Yep. And then starts playing for England in their youth setup. And then, as we talked about, I think last week or the week before, Fulham back in the Premier League now, and he's old enough. Last time they were here, he was a bit younger, obviously.
Yeah, he's 19 now.
19 now, and he starts.
He started a game for them
in their first game in the Premier League.
Yeah, he came on against. It was literally like a week or so ago. I was watching him come on against Liverpool in the Premier League.
Yeah, and holding his own.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, looking really good.
So, and then obviously because of the connections with both the club, the place, his dad, and Matt Taylor.
Yep.
He's decided, Fulham having signed these Brazilians, that a year on loan would do him good.
Yeah. He could have gone to a much higher. Like, a lot of Fulham fans are very upset
initially.
Perhaps not knowing the
Yeah.
full extent of the kind of backstory here, but like suggesting, he could easily have like either stayed with them and played or gone to a championship team or whatever. Obviously, given all the reasons we just said, he wanted to come here.
Yeah.
And
he has
he
done.
did.
I mean,
And
that's
he's taken the
remarkable.
number 9 shirt, which is his dad's number.
Shirt.
Obviously, another part to the story. We retired the number 9 shirt for 9 years.
Yeah.
That was till a couple of years ago, where Ben Seymour had it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's gone, so it's available again. He's come back. Jay Stansfield's come in, and he's taken the number 9 shirt. And they did this unveiling video. Oh, first of all, someone wandered past, before it was announced, wandered past St James Park.
Yeah.
And took this kind of grainy, really grainy photo of like some sort of photo or video being done up on the big bank, right in the middle where the red heart is. And the rumours were, that kind of set the rumours off even more. Anyway, then it's announced, and they did this little unveiling video, which is a lovely little video actually, very nicely put together, emotions running high across the internet.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I'm not really a very emotional person.
He's stony-hearted, listeners.
And I was watching the little video bit, and Jason Stanford doesn't look. He looks a bit like his dad, right?
Yeah.
Kind of looks a bit more like Chesney off Coronation Street or something, but like looks a bit like him.
Yeah.
But there's a bit where he's facing towards the big bank, and they're filming the back of him with Stansfield 9 on the back of his shirt, and just for literally a split second, he looked identical from behind with that shirt on, and it was just like eerie, and it was like, oh, really kind of arresting, like little shot. And I was like, oh wow, that's incredible. And I suddenly kind of realised the kind of size of the situation.
Yeah,
and it's amazing. And what a story!
What a story!
Not a story here every day.
No,
in the footballing world.
No, it's not. Remarkable.
Yeah.
So that,
and we needed him. Oh, that's not off. We've completely overlooked old Bill Harris, whatever his name is, the other guy we signed.
Yeah.
What's he called?
Not Bill Harris at all. Why have I forgotten it?
Harry Smith.
Harry Smith, who's also come in.
Yeah.
6'5", 6'4".
So we signed this 6'5" centre forward as well on loan from Leyton Orient.
Yeah. Who we've been after for a while.
Yeah. Scored a lot of goals last season.
Yeah.
So we needed people up top. We signed a big guy.
Yeah.
Another option. And we signed Jay Stansfield, who's a very quick,
skillful,
shorter striker.
Yeah.
Attacker. So exactly what we needed, really.
Suddenly.
Actually turned out to be a really good window, but it was after the window had long slammed shut. I don't even really know how that happened.
It's because they'd done the paperwork, and then, normally you get the midnight announcement.
Yeah.
So Craig Bratt explained it. So in normal life, you get the midnight announcement. Like, great news, we've signed, and they put up just a picture from a previous game of Harry Smith.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the photo op and all that. Just do that later.
They just wanted to save it, did they?
They just wanted to save it.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, it's under the circumstances. Yeah.
So we did the paperwork properly.
Also, that's great drama. That is great.
Remarkable
that is great drama.
That's remarkable.
All of us
were like,
going to bed thinking, oh, nothing happened. And then waking up and that happening the next day.
So we'll come on to the game in a minute, but just to recap. So the transfer window then, and I'm doing this off the cuff, we've brought in Blackman.
Yep.
We've brought in, crumbs, I've forgotten everyone.
Harper.
Smith. Stansfield.
Yep.
I'm missing someone, aren't I?
Yeah, Kegs.
Kegs
Choke, and out.
Out, quite a lot.
Yeah, loads out. We talked about all them before, but recently, Coley on loan.
Yeah.
And Alfie Pond.
Yeah.
Gone.
Okay. So
the squad's we've still got a big squad, but we've probably got, we've got quality in all of the places. A lot of people talking about would like us to sign another or a left wing back
type
of player, just kind of, cover for that.
Yeah.
Because currently we have cover in Jake Caprice, but he's kind of the cover for the left and for the right. Isn't
Yes,
he?
if you lose both,
Yeah.
a bit different.
But I feel like we could work that a bit better than we could with the striker situation if we hadn't brought those two in.
Yeah, that suddenly looks like an excellent range of options for up front.
It does, yeah. So yeah.
And then it's worth saying Kyle Taylor to come back at some point.
Yes.
So that was that, yeah. Remarkable.
Extremely remarkable, yeah.
Which then led us to Saturday.
There's this, yes. So, MK Dons.
Stinking MK Dons. Even
Yeah.
my dad, who doesn't care about football, was like, oh, is that... He said, who are they playing today? And I said, Milton Keynes. And he went, is that MK Dons? And I said, yeah. He went, that's terrible.
Yeah, not a real team.
Not a real team.
I wasn't there. And when it's Stansfield side, I was suddenly just like so gutted. I was like, how am I missing this historic day? I mean, I was having a nice time, but anyway.
So
I was abroad again, so I was able to watch it.
Yeah, well done. Congratulations.
People's Republic
Cornish
of Kerno.
nationalists. Yeah. Delighted.
It is a different country. Just depends who you speak to about it.
That's true. True enough. If you ask Mabby and Kerno,
The good
they're
people
all
at Nord agree with me.
So, Stubbs was missing, not on the bench.
Yeah, is he injured?
He's injured.
So's Hartridge.
Hartridge on his way back, but not on the bench.
No.
So the bench looked...
Harry Smith on the bench.
Harry Smith on the bench, Jay Stansfield on the bench.
Yeah, other than that, it seems kind of how you'd expect it to be, right?
Yeah.
The usual in
It's
midfield.
Grounds that comes in, of course.
Grounds comes in on the left side of the three centre-backs and Czech in the middle.
That's right.
That's the best option if...
No Stubbs, Czech goes in the middle. Yeah.
Perfect.
But also Czech, I think, is limited by being on a side that doesn't suit him. So it worked really well. Then Kite and Collins in the middle with Dieng, Sparks and Key, Caprice on the bench, Nombe and Giovanni up front. And then Harper for his debut on the bench. That's his league debut, isn't it, on the bench?
Yes.
No. Isn't it? He was there for Papa John's. Was he there on the bench for the one before?
I think he came on the one, but he came on for a bit, the one before that.
Okay. So...
Accrington away.
Oh, yeah, right you are. So we started kind of a bit end-to-end.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Will Grigg, of course, the kind of danger man.
Well, it was high pressing from Exeter City, wasn't it?
It was.
And as we saw this unfold, MK Dons just looked like a team who kind of want to play, keep the ball. They didn't want to keep the ball as such. They were kind of letting us have possession.
Yeah.
But when we didn't have it, we were pressing them really high.
Yeah.
And chances started to come, didn't they?
Yeah, second half of the first half, we kind of grew into it. They had one chance, should have done better. It came across the box, and their man was unmarked, and Blackman made a good save, but he wasn't really tested.
Yeah, there was chances at the other end as well. There was a Sparks free kick that flew over. Sparks had another chance. There was a hell of a save, quite a few saves from the MK Dons keeper, wasn't there? The first one was a header from Dieng. Dieng had a few chances with his head, and then Sweeney with the follow-up header, which was also kept out.
Yep.
And then they had their chance in front of the big bank. Great save from Blackman, made himself really big. The striker should have done a lot better.
I think he panicked though. Blackman's right there, and there's some defender coming, and
massive, and
massive.
Yeah.
So half-time 0-0 seemed very solid, and then
I was confident.
Yeah. Beginning of the second half, we were absolutely flying. Some of the best football I've seen us play in ages.
Yeah.
All over them.
I mean, it's one of those games. We've had quite a few of them recently. Kind of a successful season last year, where we'd have to go through every individual player in the team and specifically praise each one of them because they were all that good. Like we could talk for 5 minutes or each about some of the performances here. Sweeney, unbelievably good. Czech, we will talk about him. Grounds, exceptional.
He was
so good. Jack Sparks, really, really good game again. Had a lot of shots. But that's great. But good balls into the box. Played so well. absolutely terrorised them down the wing.
Yeah,
And
he
Josh
did.
Key, maybe one of his best Exeter City games. Superb. Archie Collins pulling the strings for everything that's happening. Harry Kite, brilliant. Like great passing, great movement. Dieng went off injured.
Yeah,
right?
he did.
Which is a shame because he's playing really well as well, getting into the box. Like it plays into our hands when teams play like that against us, especially at home, and when we're like purring like that because, good luck trying to outplay us like that.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it was interesting when Dieng went off. Actually, Harper sits a bit deeper, and actually it created a lot more space.
Right.
Just a little bit more space, which gave Kite and Collins. We scored quickly afterwards, but even after that, you were like, "Oh, that change has just thrown him a little bit."
I think
he looks like a good player. Harper.
Yeah, I think is a little bit of settling in still to be done, isn't there? And getting used to his teammates. But yeah, he looks excellent, and he looks like he'll fit in really well into that midfield.
And then we got the goal.
It had been coming, hadn't it?
Totally coming.
Yeah. Absolutely dominating them.
Giovanni had a good chance that he put over the bar.
Yep.
Jack Sparks had a really good shot that was on target that the keeper managed to get to.
Yep.
From a heck of an angle. But then it was from a corner, laid off, I think. Was it Collins' ball that came in?
I think it was straight in Giovanni Brown one. There was quite a few, wasn't there?
And then Diabate was left alone, but a good header back across.
Terrible defending.
They'd be disappointed.
Take nothing away from Cech because, again, had a brilliant game. But, yeah, it's a bit like Dieng's header a few weeks ago at the back post.
Yes, it was.
No one anywhere near him. He almost had too much time. But he's not missing from there.
No, Bosch.
Superb.
Loved it.
Yeah.
And Big Bank loved him. And really, it was done then. We kept the pressure on.
Well, that's a good thing. That was an interesting thing, I thought, as well, that we kept pressing them even after the goal. They did... Last sort of 10 minutes, so they kind of had a few kind of breakaways, didn't they? Where maybe could have done a bit better, but we kept pressing. Rather than change things and suddenly sit back and kind of soak it up or anything, we didn't do that. We just kept playing the same way we had been.
Yeah, we did. Grounds absolutely poleaxed someone who looked like they might be getting away.
Yeah. The old classic.
Taking
Taking one for the team.
Yeah. And then
when so it was about 75 minutes.
Yeah, it was 80. Was it guessing what was 80? I think.
The moment happens.
Yeah, so everyone knew it was coming. He'd taken his shirt off, and then on comes Stansfield for Nombe.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you didn't really come across on the telly, but I'm guessing the noise.
Well, everyone was just stood up. That's what I noticed. Whole ground was stood up for him.
Wow.
And reminded me that we all used to give the old Stano. So everyone was doing that,
Oh yeah, just chanting Stano. Yeah.
Like he's a young lad. Like, goodness me, it must have been overpowering almost.
He is, but do you know what? I mean, he's clearly like a strong bloke.
Well,
do you mean?
Been through a lot, hasn't he?
He has. He was, like we said earlier, when his dad died, he was probably about 7 years old. So that's old enough to know what's going on. Do you mean?
Yeah.
And he's done brilliantly well for himself in the meantime. Managed to become like a Premier League footballer. Came back, didn't have to come back here, but at all. Do you mean? Like you said, definitely would have been options to go elsewhere. Wanted to, didn't have to take the number 9 shirt. That might have been too. Wanted it, wasn't phased by it.
I love that he...
It's such a credit to him. What a guy.
Yeah. He said, didn't he, in that interview, they said, did I want the shirt? And I thought, he basically said, well, if I'm doing this, I'm doing it properly. And,
Absolutely, yeah.
So he came on and straight away had a run through. And, him and Giovanni weren't yet quite on the same wavelength. So,
but you look straight away, what you can see is that some of the footballers we've got around him, likes of Giovanni Brown, Kite, Collins, who can link up with a player whose movement, or even from 10-minute cameo, you can tell is that good.
Yeah,
he's so quick.
It's
like these diagonal runs he's making. He was almost like they weren't quite. He was almost like, oh yeah, I make these runs, and then one of my amazing teammates picks me out because I'm used to that.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't quite synced up yet, but when they do that could really kind of.
And it was interesting. Him and Giovanni were swapping.
Right.
So he's not quite a Nombe and he's not quite a Brown. He's kind of a bit of both.
Yeah.
And you could see actually Nombe didn't have his best game, and that was the obvious switch to make.
No, but do you know what I mean? He didn't because he didn't create himself a huge amount of chances. Difficult to, but his running was unreal.
Yes, that's true.
And the pressing,
In another occasion, it could be Brown that comes off for him, and Stansfield could do that. I'm sure
I think he's not like exactly like anyone we've got, is he? So
No.
it's again a brilliant signing based on,
Yeah.
forget about the fact of who his dad is.
Yeah. So that was that 1-0. And then it was the loveliest moment, like it really was. So that the players had obviously decided that he should be the last off.
Right.
So his mum was there, and he was kind of waving, and then he came towards the big bank to clap, and Nombe give him the nudge to go, which obviously Sam loves doing, but made him go and he waved. He didn't clap, he waved.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, that's like, it was really special thing actually.
Yeah.
And fair play to him, and it obviously got to him in a way that it would get to any of us.
Well, how could it not? Do you mean? Incredible.
But he did it with such kind of grace, and and that was that.
Yeah. So that's all nice and everything. It's an amazing moment in itself. And the whole story is incredible. And that's all that's... But then also we've just got a really good player in on loan for the rest of the season that we really needed as well.
Yeah.
So
I think that will become the story very quickly. In a way, it's been this big step at this point. Like, I've got to do this thing that's got all this stuff about it. Like, it's a big move anyway. That's quite a statement to drop from Premier League to League One. My dad, the stand, the shirt, my family. That's done. Like, he's done it all in one go.
Yeah. It's good to come in immediately.
Yeah.
Day after he signed, get all of that stuff done and out the way.
Now we can have a week's training.
It was a home win.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And there'll still be more kind of...
There'll be some of that stuff.
Yeah, but that's all kind of taken care of in a really nice way. Do you mean?
Yeah, that's right. And now he can get his head down and get on with it. And I'm sure he'll be an enormous asset. I'm sure he will. That looks like a heck of a team. Like
we do look like a formidable side, don't we? Do you mean like I'm not? Yeah, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but
I should think we'd be very disappointed if we're battling relegation with this squad.
Yeah, well,
I mean, obviously injuries can mess anyone's season up.
Yeah, and anything could happen. We might, the form might dip. It seems unlikely. I'm not unlikely, but I definitely think we look like we're good enough, don't we?
And solid enough that actually we shouldn't be.
Yeah,
we should be looking.
And a lot of these players, I mean, a lot of academy players, almost a large part of the team untested at League One.
Yeah.
Look good in League Two.
Yeah.
Some of whom grew into good League Two players. And I haven't seen anyone who's not made the step up. No,
that's right.
No one's... Oh, that's not strictly true, actually. Maybe there might be a few peripheral players. What we haven't talked about is the other J. Matt J.
Yeah, I know. But I don't think...
We might struggle to kind of... I don't know. What happens to Matt J now?
I mean, it's a long season.
Definitely still a role for... Absolutely, yeah. I'm not writing him off. There's definitely...
I mean, Matt J is absolutely a fighter, and there've been numerous occasions.
Yeah, he's had to prove himself over and over again, to be honest. And I hope there's plenty more to come from this season.
I'm sure there will be.
If you look at the likes of Sweeney, who spent the last 10 years playing League Two, and now has stepped up and has looked... like an excellent League One player. And then all the youngsters as well. Collins, Harry Kite looked like one of our best players.
He was excellent again.
He barely played League Two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Good day.
Good day. Good week. Rare week. We'll remember this for a long time.
Yeah. Maybe download this one to a hard drive and don't just keep it in the cloud or whatever. You never know what could happen. Down this one, burn it onto a CD.
You can get an individual...
Hide it in a copy of, an old,
Stick it in the family Bible.
Yeah. One of those hollowed out Bibles. Stick it on a USB stick and put it in there. If the police ever raid your house, that won't look good. But...
they'll be baffled when they listen to...
Yeah.
Anyway.
Officers, it was a hell of a week.
Fair enough, they'll say. Okay, well, more about next week in a second. Welcome back to the Big Bank Theory podcast. So City are in League One, as you know, and they currently sit 7th in the league after 7 games played. That is quite the start. That's about 1/5 of the season.
Is it?
Approximately. 11 points plus 5. Good on the goals against in particular. We've only conceded 5.
Very good.
Very good. So, next up, it's a week of former City strikers.
Yeah.
Stockley's Charlton on Saturday at the Valley, and then Bowman's Shrewsbury at, it's not Gay Meadow is it anymore, is it? Whatever their ground's called, up in Shrewsbury. I mean, we know these players. We know them well. We know what they can do.
We do, yeah.
Both teams are sitting below us at the minute. Charlton in 12th, Shrewsbury in 13th, both on 9 points. Be interesting to see, won't it? In a sense, a really interesting marker of, you know, there've often been calls for, should we have kept Bowman? Could we get Stockley back?
Yeah, well, we've caught up with them, haven't we, I think?
Caught up
Those
with them.
players both went off to kind of higher clubs further on.
Well, we expected
Higher up the
Stockley to
table.
do better, and we probably didn't expect Bowman to do as well.
I think Stockley's been pretty up to this season. He's been a good player for them. He's been kind of all
He's been
around
around
that
a bit, hasn't he?
bit. He went to where did we sell him to?
Preston?
Preston, yeah, and then he went to Charlton on loan for a bit.
That's
Then he's
right,
gone
and
there
then they bought him.
permanently.
Yeah.
He's the captain now. He's only scored 1 goal this season, but it was against Argyle from the penalty spot.
Good boy.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting coming up against him. Like now that we're such a different outfit to when he was there, you know.
Yeah.
But we've still got players around there who know his game. Obviously, Matt Taylor knows what he can do.
Yeah.
Same goes for Bowman, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm not particularly worried about either of them.
That's interesting.
But, you know, it gives you a little bit of impetus, doesn't it, playing against an old club? Wouldn't be massively surprised if Stockley scored against us.
No.
And I expect no celebration, please, Jaden. There's a big sort of painting thing of you outside one of the kiosks
Yes.
with your name there. So a little bit of respect.
Bowman, there isn't, so...
Bowman, I don't think Bowman ever really got to like
True cult status.
mural status, did he? A lot of people loved him. He kind of divided opinion a bit, didn't he?
Well, I think when he was good, he was great. But towards the end, we were like, what's he offering here? Neither of them can jump properly, of course.
Well, that's the thing. Neither of them can, yeah. They can't time a jump. Between the two of them, you know. Yeah,
It's like that film they made, isn't it? Ex-City players can't jump.
yeah, starring
Wesley Snipes.
and Woody Harrelson.
That's right.
Which one's which? Stockley, obviously, is Harrelson.
Yeah,
blonde.
he really looks like him.
He
Bowman
could
looks
have-
less like Wesley Snipes, if we're honest.
Yeah. Yeah, Woody Harrelson could play Stockley in a film about his life, couldn't he? I mean, it wouldn't be
could.
the perfect match, but they're both kind of blondie boys.
Yeah. Blondie boys. I mean, I'd say these two teams are both very much established League One teams. They've not set the league on fire. I don't think anyone would have called them promotion or championship favourites at the beginning.
No, you reckon Charlton are a bit of a mess, do you?
Well, they certainly have. Shrewsbury, a very well-run club. Obviously, have just done a good job at kind of growing.
Yeah.
Of course, famously, we went down against them. I got, I really remember going to Shrewsbury, to Gay Meadow. Don Goodman was playing for us.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And honestly, I was stood so far up the away end and he nearly took my head off with a shot. Oh, I nearly punched the ball on Saturday, by the way.
Did you?
With one of the shots, yeah. Very close. I accused some lad next to me of not having true commitment because he didn't jump for it. He could have got a head on it. And I remember we weren't playing and it wasn't my job to tell off the centre-back.
Czech would have got that. That's what
Czech
I
would
said
have.
to him.
So, yeah, I just feel like this is a good assessment of like, are we League One standard? These are very much League One teams. They're not going to get relegated. They're probably not going to get promoted.
Yeah, and they've got these players that literally left us to go to a higher level team.
Yeah.
So now we are back there. It's a bit of a testing week, isn't it? And if we can come away from this week having not lost either of them, that'd be very impressive.
Absolutely.
As always, this season, we'll take a draw, will we? And either of them.
Yeah, the draw away we definitely take.
I mean, I'd take a draw. Yeah, both of them away, aren't they?
Yeah.
If we can come away with 2 points, I'd be very happy. If we can get more, I definitely think we could get more out of one or if not both of them.
And then, we've MK. They're a more invested in team than either of those two or us. So to get 3 points, follow this on with a few more, and then we've got some more straightforward games, perhaps Burton at home and Forest Green away, who are both struggling. So, it's just about picking up the points where we can, isn't it? And I'm sure Matt Taylor will have identified some of these games as winnable. And
oh, definitely. And you don't want to be going through a kind of... Like, we were 4 games without a win before Saturday.
Yeah.
But it didn't necessarily feel like bad. And I know some of them were draws, and we weren't conceding, and we only about got as far as 12th or something in the table.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is while you're playing well or not playing terribly, still picking up points during those points, and especially when we're doing well, it's like, okay, let's get these points now.
Yeah.
Because if we're playing well but not picking up points, then that's when you start to worry. Do you mean because it's a long season?
Absolutely. I mean, it's just interesting, isn't it? And it's real testament to Matt Taylor once again. He's a very level-headed and patient man. So he knew Stansfield was on the cards. He knew he didn't want to mess around with, like, Zanzala or some equivalent, Alex Fisher. Like, he didn't just want to make up numbers. He's been saying that all along.
No, yeah. Well, we held on. Again, it wasn't like, even Harry Smith, this isn't some, like, oh, well, fine, we'll have him then.
No.
This is someone who we've been after for a while, like...
Yeah.
At least a couple of seasons, right? Like Matt Taylor wants him. That's one of the reasons he said. Sorry, Harry, we've sort of ignored you a bit here, but I'm sure you'll understand when you listen back to this on vinyl or whatever, USB. When you dig up this USB stick from the
concrete block you set it in some years before.
In your new garden that you moved. I don't know what I'm saying. Is a good player that we did actually want.
Yes,
that's what I'm trying
to say.
That's
right, absolutely that. So, full credit to Taylor. And
we've not seen him yet. That does,
Smith.
Yeah. And we've got people who can deliver a ball into a box, and now we've got this big guy who scores a lot of headers, If you look at his goals from last season. And they were headers as well. It wasn't just like he's tall, but he's...
So that's interesting, isn't it? Like, you could see there being a full change. So Brown and Nombe actually could be changed for Stansfield and Smith. Like, that's not out of the realms of possibility, I know Fulham are going to want Stansfield to be used, and I know he's so good that we're going to want to use him, but I do think this isn't just going to be like, let's cram him in at any opportunity. I think there are loads of ways we can play, and Taylor also doesn't mind and has grown into changing formation.
Yep.
So Stansfield, I think, could also play behind a front two.
Probably right. You're probably right. I think it's just good. You're right about Matt Taylor. It's good to have somebody measured. Football is a very emotional game. Yeah. Everyone, if you've been to football, the way people act there, getting all het up.
Yeah.
Online, even more het up, going crazy. Wildly pleased when things go well, wildly depressed when they don't. 1 week, you got people slagging off Diabate, saying he's no good.
Yeah.
And then the week after, he's the best centre-back we've ever had. And they're doing one of those pictures where it's all the things in his pocket. Oh, look, here's his keys and his card and his backy. And then, oh, look, here's Dean Lewington. No, I don't know. Whoever.
Will Grigg,
yeah. Yes. On the subject of Will Grigg, I do have to...
He went off at half-time, by the way.
Yeah. I do have to correct the record.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully you didn't get this one done onto vinyl because it was wrong.
Yeah, so last week, when we were talking about Will Grigg being on fire,
yeah,
I said that it was to the tune of Freed from Desire by Ultranate.
Yeah.
It's not by Ultranate, it's by Gala.
I don't recall Gala at all. Until they
both one-hit wonders, but Ultranate had the song called You're Free.
To do what you want.
To do what you want to do.
Oh, yeah.
That one. That's Ultranate.
Right.
And Gala is the one that did Freed from Desire.
Okay.
So, sorry to all involved.
Yeah. Gala. Talk about a terrible name for your pop act.
Well, you're sharing it, aren't you?
With the bingo.
You're sharing it with Gala Bingo.
Yeah.
You're sharing it with apples.
Yeah. You're sharing it with, like, just having a gala.
Yeah. What is a gala exactly?
You know, like like Mayday pole dance.
It's a kind of
pole dancing.
party, right? It's
What's
a ball.
the thing called that children do? Not pole dancing.
Maypole.
Maypole. The Maypole dance.
Yeah.
That's a gala.
Children aren't pole dancing.
No. Except in Poland. I think you'd have a gala down your regatta. If you're down Salcombe.
That is a regatta. The regatta is a different type of party, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Maybe a gala is a regatta on land.
Maybe. It's sort of quite a posh do, isn't it?
I think it's a posh do. You and me aren't having a gala.
No, we're not.
No.
We're not invited to any either.
No. The Chiefs would have a gala.
Yeah.
They'd have a gala dinner up the Chiefs, wouldn't they?
Mm.
Bell ends.
If you were thinking of inviting us, Exeter Chiefs, to your gala,
no thanks.
don't bother, because
Don't
we
bother.
won't go.
We ain't got anything smart to wear and we wouldn't wear it anyway.
No. Then again, I mean, people going to that, what's the dress code for that? It's like sort of boot-cut jeans with brown pointy shoes.
No, isn't it like a cummerbund?
What for your gala? Yeah, but people who go rugby, you have to wear that, don't you?
Brown
you have to wear
shoes
those
and
brown
jeans.
shoes and boot-cut jeans.
Yeah.
Like, you have to.
Have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, the Chiefs are up City. Did you see that? Jack Noel and that came to...
I think I saw one of them. I regretfully went to the Papa John game.
Yes, they were there.
And I saw these couple of guys walking along in the kind of outside the bar,
Yeah.
the centre spot. That
We're not allowed to
outside
call the Red Square anymore.
Red Square.
Yeah.
And I saw these couple of guys looking outlandish. And I thought, who are these two?
Large fellas, were they?
But they were dressed like sort of 14-year-old American kids.
Right.
But they were clearly just like grown men.
Backwards caps.
Backwards caps, sort of like big white trainers.
Okay.
They look stupid. I'm not gonna mince my words. These are a couple of stupid-looking guys. And I thought, what are you doing? What are these guys doing here?
Now we know.
At the Papa John's.
They were...
and they went into the club shop. The only reason I realised, turns out they're Exeter Chiefs players because some lad came out of the shop sort of going on about it.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, I saw it was on social media.
He'd had his photo taken with them.
Oh, okay.
And someone went like, yeah, he plays for Chiefs in England. And I went like, well, yeah, he looks like a chief.
Absolute chief. Well, there we go.
Chief Keith. You a fan of Chief Keith?
What on earth is Chief Keith?
Don't worry, if you don't know, you don't need to know.
All right, fine. So that was the week that's been happening. What an absolute time.
Oh, what a week.
What a week.
So we've got Stano now.
Got Stano Jr.
Yeah.
Fair
I
dues.
can't wait to see more of him.
Harry Smith we've got.
Harry Smith. Can't wait to see any of him.
Raheem Harper. That's who we got. Look good.
I can't... Harry Smith, and it's not just because of, again, he's getting buried under the sensational Stansfield transfer, but I can't even remember what he looks like. I'm just going to look him up very quickly.
There was a picture of him with Josh Key coming in, and honestly, Josh Key, normal-sized fella, looked absolutely minuscule.
Yeah.
As you can imagine.
I mean, who's taller out of him in Blackman?
Don't know. They're probably similar heights, aren't they?
Oh, he looks like a good... Yeah, he's just got like a kind of normal... He doesn't look too normal. Handsome man.
Handsome man. You can get in touch with us in all the normal ways. Maybe you've seen some other sports stars at Exeter City. Frankie Dettori, Michael Jordan, Sue Barker.
Claire Balding.
She's not a sports star, she's a sports journalist.
She's a star in my eyes.
Oh, good. Maybe you've seen them there. Maybe they're getting involved. Of course, all the eyes have been on City this week. So Jeff Stelling did a big thing about it. Obviously, would always go on about Lisa Stansfield famously.
Yeah.
Jay's grandma. And he's been getting involved and all the newspapers have been talking about him. So maybe now we'll start to see some more... Clinton Morrison was talking about it. Start seeing some more people coming down to enjoy. There was nearly 6,000 there again Saturday.
People are into it, aren't they?
And it's not the away fans.
No.
MK, I don't know how many they bought.
300, I think.
What was it? I mean, I know it's a fairly long way, and that's better than some. And again, I don't want to have a go at the ones that have turned out, but it's Exeter City supporters that are increasing in the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, you want to see that, wouldn't you? Was it good to see? I wasn't even there.
It's good to see. It's good to see. Full everywhere.
Yes. So, no podcast next week.
No, one of us is going on holiday
Sorry
again.
to say. So this will be our... We're going to miss a week, unfortunately.
I think we're going to be back after Burton.
Yes, that's right, after the Burton home game. And, yeah, I can only apologise.
No, you enjoy yourself.
Thank you. We will, I don't know, we'll do some tweets, will we?
Oh, yeah, we'll do some tweets. Yeah, let's do that.
I'm so bad at Twitter. That
Well, you're better than me.
I can't do it.
Maybe I'll start putting voice notes on Twitter. Would everyone enjoy that?
If you want to give that a bash, then I'm happy for that to happen.
All right. I don't want to over-promise here.
Um,
Just be me going like...
yeah, so no podcast. Sorry about that.
No. Don't apologise, Dan. You have a lovely time. And you have a lovely time, listener. We'll be back in about 2 weeks' time. So we'll see you then. Thanks for listening, everyone. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague, Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon.